Now friends, let us move on to law of diminishing marginal utility. As I told you, every consumer, when he starts using one after the other the same commodity, at one juncture he will not derive the same amount of happiness or satisfaction that he is deriving from the previous unit. It might start declining. Each consumption does not have the same satisfying power. That is what is called the law of diminishing marginal utility. Now, in simple words, when a consumer takes more of units of the same good, the satisfaction that he derives from every extra units of a good goes on falling. It is the marginal utility that declines, but not the total utility. The total utility for every product will increase, because even if it has 1 unit of satisfaction, it will be adding up to the utility derived by consumption. But marginal utility, as I told you already, the difference between the previous utility derived from the previous unit to the utility derived from the next unit, that difference alone will start falling, will come down. You see to the table again and given in page number 2.53. There, a quantity of the tea consumed by a consumer is given per day. When he starts the day with the first cup, the happiness or the satisfaction that he derives is measured as 30 units. So the total utility that he derived is 30 units, and the marginal utility that he derived is also 30 units. Now when he starts consuming the next tea, when he has the second cup of tea, his total utility comes up to 50, because he adds on 20 units. But is it the same to that of the first cup? No, it declines. It comes down by 10 units. So he derives only 20. So the marginal unit is 20, whereas the total utility is 50. Now you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As he increases the cups, when he goes to the 7th cup, the total utility is 93. Whereas the marginal utility derived is only 4. And when he goes to the 10th unit, the marginal utility comes down to 1. And the 11th unit, it even falls down. He's not happy as that he had the first cup, or the satisfaction is not the same. This is because of the consumer's behavior. Like consumer may not have the same satisfaction many a number of times. If he repeatedly starts using, the happiness that he derives out of every unit will only decrease. Now there are certain assumptions for this marginal utility. What are they? The first one is unit consumed are considered to be the same identical type of one cup of tea is the same like second cup of 3, and all the preparation, everything, the measurement, everything is assumed to be the same, whereas the habit, the taste, treatment and the income of the consumer also remains unchanged. The unit should be identical. That is the first assumption. Second assumption is the different unit should consist of, like as I told you, the same type of product, the same make, everything should be the same. It should be of a standard unit. If he is given 1 cup of tea for the first time, the same preparation, the same cup should be the second measurement also. It should not be different in any of the respect. Then the third one is the time interval should not be different. There should not be a time gap. The prescribed time should be the same. Like he consumes one today and the other one tomorrow, or the other one next week. No, that comparison isn't possible. It should be, the time gap should be between the day, within that period, and so on. The time gap, the interval should not be like different. It should be continuous consumption. Then the fourth one is certain items do not come into this. For example, say jewels, diamonds and other things. There you don't find diminishing utility at all, because certain items, they have a tendency to satisfy. The more they get, the more the happiness that they derive out of it. So such type of goods with good quality or status values, they don't have a diminishing value at all. Next one is the shape of the utility may be affected by the presence or absence of the items that are complementary or substitute for other. Say for example, a tea consumption utility cannot be compared with the consumption of coffee, or it might be affected with the consumption of coffee. So a coffee consumption utility obtained by consuming coffee cannot be compared with utility consumption of tea. They too might be a substitute or they might be a complement. The utility curve together when spoken may be affected by the presence, but we take it to be the same tea only. If we have tea and coffee together, the utility curves may be affected. That is the fifth assumption. So the law of diminishing marginal utility prevails with these assumptions.